Hello and welcome back to Make Kimchi, Not War. You ask me, Rod, name of your channel is Make Kimchi, Not War. How come you never make kimchi? Well, today I'm going to remedy that. Today I'm going to show you how to make an easy recipe for kimchi. So let's talk about what we're going to need to make our kimchi. First of all, we'll need one of these. Oop, it's come apart. This is a Napa cabbage. And you can use any kind of cabbage, but Napa cabbage is traditional and it's a little different than usual green cabbage, and so I enjoy using it. This is a daikon radish. Now the Koreans have their own form of that radish. That's not it, but we're going to use daikon because you can get it in most supermarkets. Some green onions, a couple of carrots. This is 5 cloves of garlic that I've minced. This is that much ginger, also minced. Also, we'll be using fish sauce. And this stuff, this is red pepper flakes, Korean red pepper flakes. I got it on Amazon. Search for red pepper powder. And also we'll be using one of these. This is an Asian pear. This is going to be for the paste that we're going to make later. The recipe that I started with called for sugar, but instead of sugar, I decided to use a pear. You can also use an apple or any other kind of pear. This is an Asian pear, sometimes called apple pears, and you can find them in most supermarkets. We're only actually going to use half of this in our recipe. And also, you're going to need salt. This is just kosher salt. So the first thing we're going to want to do is prep our vegetables and start with our cabbage. I'm going to cut the cabbage in quarters, and the way I do that is basically cut through this thick part in the back, and you just sort of tear it apart. Okay, then you notice maybe better on this one. And then here, this thick core, that's not good. We're going to cut that out. So. Okay. And then we cut the cabbage up. And we want to cut the cabbage into like 1-inch pieces. So let's start at one end and just start. Throw it in the bowl. Cut up, and we'll continue to do that with the rest of the cabbage. Okay, the cabbage is all cut up and in my bowl. And the next thing I'm going to want to do is salt my cabbage. I just use regular kosher salt. It really doesn't matter how much you use because it's going to be rinsed off later. Just put some salt in there and stir it around, mix it up. My goal here is just to get all of the cabbage covered in salt. I'm going to pour some water. This is filtered water. Use filtered water because I'm trying to avoid chlorine. Chlorine is in the water to kill bacteria, and we want to encourage the growth of bacteria. It probably doesn't make that much difference, but it's just something I always do. So, and we're going to want to weight this down and hold everything under the brine. So what I do is just get a plate, and then I'll weight that plate with a jar of water. that. It's good. And we'll leave that for anywhere from an hour to 2 hours just to soak in that salt water and destroy all the pathogenic bacteria. So while my cabbage is soaking in the brine, I want to prep my other vegetables. And so I'm going to begin with the carrots. And basically what you want with the carrots is matchsticks. I'm going to go about 2 inches long. And here's how I do it. I just sort of dig my fingernails in. Slice off little planks. As you see, making little planks like that. Then I cut them across this way, long way. And also the daikon, I'm going to make it about you make matchsticks out of the carrots, but the daikon I want a little bigger, so I'm going to cut, I guess what they call batons, about 1/4 inch. About 1/4 inch. Yeah, about that size. Then your green onions, which you want to trim them up and not the green onions, I'm just going to cut them into inch-long chunks. So I've got all my veggies prepped, and I'm going to put them in a bowl and set them aside. Okay, so now to make our paste, we're going to use a food processor. Into the food processor, we put this. This is that pear I showed you earlier. I peeled it and cored it and cut it in half. We have our 5 cloves of garlic and our, I don't know, about a tablespoon of ginger, which I earlier diced up. And to that, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of fish sauce. Now, I always use fish sauce. If you find that disgusting, or you're vegan, you can use soy sauce, I guess. But the fish sauce has the umami and the saltiness that you want. And finally, and perhaps most importantly, our Korean red pepper, which is called gochugaru. So if you're looking for it on Amazon, search for gochugaru and you find this. And this determines how spicy your kimchi will be. And you can decide how much you want to put in. You can go anywhere, well, I guess you can go as much as you want. I like to put about 2.5 tablespoons of red pepper spice in there, red pepper powder. It doesn't, it makes the kimchi, spicy, but not too spicy. So now we just turn that on and let it run until it's smooth. good. I think you can see it's smooth. It's a little chunkiness to it, but that's fine. There's a little bite to it. And, all right, so now all we have to do is wait for our cabbage to be done soaking, and then we can put everything. So our cabbage has been soaking for about an hour. You can see it's softened up quite a bit. It's gotten a little loose, a little softer. That's a good sign. Now what we want to do is drain it and rinse it. Use this colander device. And then drain. The goal here is to rinse most of the salt off. Unlike sauerkraut, we don't really use salt to ferment the kimchi. The kimchi ferments in that paste that we made. So, I'm going to rinse it. I'll probably rinse it about 3 times. I'm going to let it drain here for about 20 minutes. Make sure all the water's out of it. And then I'll show you how to mix it with the paste. Okay, next I'm going to transfer my cabbage into my bowl. As I do so, I'm going to squeeze it to get out any excess water. All right, I got my kimchi, my cabbage in a bowl. Now I'm going to mix my veggies. So the vegetables we prepared earlier, and then with the cabbage. Just going to mix them all together. So what I do is just sort of now we're going to add our paste. And usually I recommend doing this that you wear gloves because it'll make your hands smell bad for a while. But I realize I don't have any gloves, so I'm going to do it barehanded. But I recommend gloves. Just to add your paste to your vegetables. And then just get in there with your hands and mix it in. Okay, the next step is the fun part. We want to jam all of this into this jar. This is a half-gallon mason jar, and I've got these storage lids. They don't seal tight, so I don't have to worry about gases building up and possibly exploding. The way you do this is just start grabbing handfuls and jamming them in there. So now when your jar starts getting full, you'll see my jar is full and it's still got stuff in there. We need to press it down. So press it down. Use our secret weapon. our muddler or pickle packer. Put the lid on. Well, actually, I'll clean it up a little, and I'll put the lid on, and I'll put it in the back porch where I ferment things for about 3 days. Come back in 3 days and check it to make sure everything is below the brine. If it's not, remove the lid, push it down, and then from then on, every day, check it and taste it until it tastes the way I like it. Kimchi doesn't take very long. 5 to 7 days and it's finished, so we'll come back in 5 or 7 days and we'll check the results. Alright, so it's been actually more than 5 days. The kimchi fermented at room temperature for 5 days, and it's actually been in the fridge for 3 days. Here we have it, right here. This is how it came out of the refrigerator this morning. And you can see, well, it's still good. Let's do the taste and see how it tastes. Alright, let's see. Crunchy. It's a little bit sour, spicy, and funky. But this is really good kimchi. Okay, it's good kimchi, but you don't have to take my word for it. We're going to have the official taste tester check it.
This is my favorite part of the kimchi process. Can't wait.
So, is the kimchi good?
You've got to try this. Make some. It goes good with anything, and it's good for your guts too.
So there you have it. Easy, delicious, probiotic kimchi. It's easy to do. If I can do it, you can do it. So go and do it.